Hey guys. We are going to talk about altars. I've been asked to do a video on altars and exactly what they are. They're so amazing. So, basically, you can have an altar of anything that you want to have an altar for, any deity, any ancestor. I would first start, if this is your very first altar, I would not start working with anything before I start working with my own ancestor. That would be the first thing. I would definitely work with my own ancestor before I did anything. So the first altar you want to set up is an ancestral altar. And when you set up your ancestral altar, let me get my drink. When you set up your ancestral altar, hold on one second. So when you set up your ancestral altar, excuse me, I was so thirsty. That's an altar that's personal. It's personal to who you have invited on your altar, whether it's your parents, grandparents, cousins, nephews, whoever you have invited into your realm. And sometimes you can choose to put on your altar certain cousins or energies that you want to harness. Like if you've got a cousin that was like a really good business person, and you want to harness that business energy from them, you want to tap in and talk to them and connect with them on that level to understanding that business sense that they had, then this is the person you would want to put on your altar. Does your altar fluctuate? Yes, it will. Sometimes it will, and sometimes, just depending on you, it can be steady. Most of the time, my altars, I have 3 altars. Most of the time, I have 2 altars and 1 shrine. Most of the time, my altars are foundational, which means that I have the basic things that are there all the time. And I'm going to take you guys in and show you what I mean about foundational pieces that goes on the altar. And then I will add in certain pieces to that altar depending on what work I'm doing, because sometimes rituals last weeks, sometimes rituals last months. It just depends on what type of work you're doing and what type of power are you harnessing. So depending on that, you want to add color, you want to add crystals, you want to add pictures, you want to add elementals. So you want to add things to your altar based on what you're doing when you're doing it. And then there's a foundational altar. I personally have foundational altars, which means most times my altars are lit every day. Every day I'm talking and working with the energy of the ancestors. So my altars I like to always keep my altars very lit. So it's up to you, however you want to do it. And there is no right or wrong way. So if anyone tell you you're doing anything wrong, please don't listen to them. You have to go 100% with your energy. That is how your ancestors tap into you once you are relaxed enough to feel them and enjoy them. So there is no right or wrong way. You're going to bump your head. You're going to see things that doesn't work. You're going to back up. You're going to go back in again and figure it out. And that's the warrior part of you. You have to fight for yourself. That's the balance that's created in the ecosystem, in the universe, in nature. Every animal on the universe have to fight and suffice for themselves. And you have certain animals like ants that works tribally, and everybody is still unified on the electrical wave system that they sent out for the work to be done. Magic. So guys, I am just saying that one of the things with altars also is the energy that you're harnessing at that time. Whatever energy you're trying to invoke or evoke, 2 different things. Whatever energy you're trying to invoke or evoke, certain things need to be placed on your altar, and certain things you can use your altar for. You can have a healing altar, you can have a spiritual altar, you can have both. You can have a dark altar, you can have a light altar, whatever you want, you can have. The number 1 rule is to always do you. So do whatever makes you feel extraordinarily okay. And that's the number one rule. Don't ever be confined in a room. The number one rule is don't be confined in a room. Ooh, that's a good one. That's the number one rule. So never be confined in a room. So try everything. Get explorative with your work, with your altar. Explore it. Look at certain things and do this. I'm going to show you. We're going to walk in. I was in the middle of about to take a spiritual bath, and I had to clean my altar off. And one of the things that I had to clean off on my altar, as I was cleaning my altar off, I was like, well, man, I could go ahead and do my altar video now. So I'm going to just show you guys what a basic altar would look like, because I have removed a lot of things that I have on there normally. Let me just put a couple of people back where they go. So my altar, generally, this is a basic altar. Let me remove this too. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. I'm sorry about that. All right. See if I can turn the camera around. Oh, it's not letting me. Oh, okay. So anyway, I can just transmute it this way. So if you guys can see, this is just a basic altar that I have. I have my grandmother on here, Lizzie. She is a healer. She's always healed with her hands. She's always taken care of people. She is very Native American, if you can see her. That's my Lizzie. So I get a lot of my healing. That's my hands right there. So this is my healing altar. And these are actual... guys, it's very important that you actually use masala incense or pure and natural incense when you're doing any type of altar work. You do not want to use the cheap incense, not the ones you buy in the drive-in store. You want to use really, really good incense. And so I have my Native Americans here. I usually have a bell, like if I'm going to speak or, I want to call the ancestors near, I'll ring the bell. Sometimes my altars can get overshadowed. I kind of have to clean it off. This is a plant that I really need to put in some dirt and take care of. So I was cleaning it out, and you can see here there's wax. You want to be able to get up all the wax from previous spells, any type of work you did before. You want to get all of that out of the way. And also on your altars, as they get older and older, as you use them, I would really go in and say, depending on the work you're doing, you want to cleanse your altar at least once a week. If not, every 2 weeks. Sometimes I'll let energy build up on my altar and won't clean it for a month or two. It just depends on the flow of what you're working with. And that's why it's so important for you to really go with the flow, go with what your instincts are telling you to do, and work it that way. So then sometimes I don't clean my altar for days. It just depends on the work that I'm doing and what I'm building, because remember, you have to build energy. Energy builds. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get all of this wax off of here. So once a month, you want to go through and clean your altar with rose water. I make my own rose water. Got one of my Daddy Crown Royal bottles. I make my own rose water, and I store it in here. I have an amazing recipe I got from the ancient ones. Oh, my rose water is so amazing. But anyway, you want to take your rose water, and you want to take a cotton ball, and you want to gently wipe down all the energy off of the pictures, off of the pieces that you have here. You want to go ahead and just cleanse all of the energy off of that with rose water. And I'll go through that after the video, post video, and just turn up a little bit on my cleaning skills, because I can't do the camera work and do it there either. So your altar, again, this is an altar. And you can choose to light your altar. You can choose to keep a candle on your altar. This is a working altar. It's a healing altar. I have a whole lot of more stuff. This is no altar. That's not like, I have a lot of stuff that goes on this altar because it is a specific altar for healing. And it's a specific altar for Inanna. It is a specific altar for Aset. So this particular altar harnesses a lot of energy. And then also sometimes, depending on what's going down, Santa Morte come through and, hey, the goddesses are bless her to share the altar. And then she got to drop some stuff. She's got to come handle some business. She comes through and handle her business and they share. And she shares altar with them. It's a beautiful thing to be able to just have those energies and to have the ancestors there working with you. You can put whatever you want on your altar depending on the frequency that you're bringing to your altars. Altars are vibrational. They're very much colorful. So depending on what you're harnessing, depends on what your altar is going to look like. And then you can have just a regular ancestral altar. And let me show you guys what an ancestral altar I will share after I get a drink. I'll share what my ancestral altar looks like for you guys. It's pretty cleaned off today. I always keep my ancestral altar lit. I have my grandma, Little Bell. I have Davis Taylor. I have my daddy. And I have Mama Foster. And so on my altar, this altar, because Davis Taylor loved cigars. He loved bourbon. And my dad loves Crown Royal. I'll put Crown Royal out. I'll put bourbon out. Cigars. This is my ancestor altar. So I always deal with that particular altar as well. I also have another altar with, and it's like, this is one whole big area, if you can see. And then I have Ganesha, which is a part of my family on this side. Which Ganesha is, he brings my abundance, all my many money CCs. My coin CCs. So he's amazing energy to work with as well. So it just depends on anything you want to do with your altar. So you can always, so I'm going to show you with this altar, we're back at the healing altar. I always keep a huge piece of selenite in here for any type of work that I'm having to do. Because like I said, this is a healing altar. So that's stuff that goes on my altar that you don't necessarily have to put on your altar. These are things I'm showing you now that you don't have to necessarily put on your altar. You need to build your altar pertaining to what it is you're doing, or pertaining to what it is you're healing, or pertaining to what it is you're trying to accomplish. So, another thing I have on my altar is a turkey feather because it moves and excavates energy. So I always keep those on there, and I clean those and charge each of one of these by the full moon. Most of the time, my crystals are always in the full moon. I also keep random jewelry that I harness energy in. I keep runes. So it just depends on what you want to do and to keep on your altar. Like this is a piece that I use whenever I'm doing work. This is a piece that normally I use when I'm doing work or invoking energy. So those types of things I keep on the altar because they are tools that I use for my work. So your altar can be whatever you make your altar, but one thing for sure you want to make sure you do. Whenever you start working with energies and you build an altar up, you do not want to be neglectful of that altar. So you don't want to go weeks at a time and never pay the altar any attention. You don't want to go weeks at a time and not put a candle out. You don't want to go weeks at a time and not even have a conversation with your ancestors. So you want to make sure that you're spending energy at the altars, because this is currency in the spiritual world. You want to be able to spend your energy at the altar because energy is going to come back with you. Each transaction is a transaction. And so you don't want to spend your energy on things that's not ascertaining to you. And a lot of times we spend our energy on things that's not ascertaining to us. And especially when it comes to spending energy on ourselves. So I wanted you to make sure that you understand what altars are. You can also add crystals to altars. I have the crystals in the window charging now, but this is a crystal I often take a bath with. That's often on my healing altar. And a lot of altars, you can charge altars to do what you need them to do. So if you need a healing altar and you want to work with that healing altar, some of you may need an altar for other reasons, and then you build the altar up and just work with your own intuition on what you need, what type of crystals and stones. If you tap into it, it will resonate with you on what type of crystals and stones you need to put on your altar and what type of altar it is, especially when you're dealing with ancestors. So when you're dealing with your ancestors and altars, you want to really rock with the ancestors that rock with you. You want to know the ancestors you're doing. You just don't want to just be harnessing ancestors' energy and you don't know nothing about them, because sometimes the ancestors wasn't really, you might have had a jacked up ass ancestor. You might have had an ancestor you trying to deal with that's a energy that was out of control. So just depending on what ancestor that comes to you, or what ancestor that you resonate with, or what ancestor you choose to honor on your ancestral altar, is the energy that you're bringing up with that ancestor. So you might want to, if I need to get down and hustle, if I need that energy, that hustle energy, that yo-yo, that New York style type, that flow like that, I'll call my Uncle Dino, because my Uncle Dino was one time... My Uncle Dino was one of the biggest narcotics dealers in LA. He ran that mug. South Central, Dino, they know him, street's name. So that's the energy that I would harness. I would bring that ancestor out. If I got to get down and dirty, if I got to get some, get grimy and get some money up for something, then that's the energy that I would bring to the forefront, because he's a hustler. He gonna think quick. He gonna roll. He gonna see every opportunity he can. He gonna bounce. He gonna make that stuff pop. So those are the things that you want to put on your altar. Those are the ancestors that you want to rock and roll with. And certain ancestors, you can't take them everywhere. You know how, Uncle Dino can't go everywhere. But when it's time for Uncle Dino to come, Uncle Dino gonna roll through. So it just depends. So have fun with it. Don't overthink it. You just, don't even overthink it. And if it's your first altar, if your first experience working with the ancestors, they are amazing to work with. And it's one of the things I do want to point out is that you can't be scared, because they don't come with fear. That's one of the things you have to release, is that fear, because they don't deal with fear at all, guys. The more scared you are, the less of them you're going to see. The more you open up to them, the more of themselves will they show you in each and everything all the time. So, ancestor altars are very good tools to use. They're amazing to have a station. I use them as a station to do craft work, as a station to mix herbs, as a station to make concoctions, as a station to work on stuff, as a station to release stuff. And when the ancestors give you recipes, they are just some of the most amazing recipes. When they give you spiritual baths, or, different people have different recipes that come to them by the ancestors. Mine happen to be spiritual baths that are just, they're going to work it. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. And, so everybody has different talents that they bring to the table, or the ancestors bring through the gate for them. The ancestors show up for you each and every damn time. They come through in droves. They come through. They're going to make sure you are right on point each and every time. And each and every time, the more you are in trouble, the more they show up. The more you are at ease and flowing comfortably in trouble, the more they show up. Because you have to know they're coming. And that's one of the most amazing things about working with them. They don't never, ever, it is no guessing. It is no, I wonder if the ancestor is going to deliver this. That's self-doubt. They don't mess with that. That's fear. They don't mess with that. We don't mess with that. So, a lot of us have been programmed to talk ourselves down or build ourselves down. As my teacher tell me, I build myself down, which you do. You actually build yourself completely down. Step by step, piece by piece. By telling yourself some of the most amazing untrue things. And then in that untruth that you tell yourself, you create the reality of the untruth that you've told yourself. You create it. You bring things your way. So when you ask yourself, I'm this guy, he's still in my life, and all this time, and I've done wasted all these years. You kept it there. You brought it there. And it's vice versa. You have something amazing that you want, bring it into your realm. You're a goddess. Make that shit pop. Work your magic. You're a goddess. You can have any damn thing you want, boo. I'm serious. And the more you love on you, the more it shows you can have anything and take what the fuck you want. All right, loves, I am out of here. I just wanted to, bring you in on the ancestral side and tell you all about altars, what they are. They're super amazing. I love my altars. And just be free with it. Do what you want to do with your altar. It doesn't matter how big or how small your altar starts out. You just want your altar in a place that's undisturbed. You want it in a place where you can go to it. It's easily accessible, but you also want it in a place that is undisturbed. And a lot of times with small children, I just, I talk it over with them. They know what they are. They know what altars are for. The babies know how to clear energy. I teach them how to do all of that because it's so important for them to understand and connect. It's so important. So guys, I am out of here. www.bosschicks360.com. If you want to take any one of the courses, if you want to take if you want any more information, we got all things popping off over there. We even got a retreat. We're going to St. Pete's. We would like for you to join us on. That's coming up. The deadline is almost in for that, for space for that, but it's $355 per person. So if you want to come to St. Pete's with us, and a matter of fact, on that St. Pete's weekend, just FYI, there is a concert with Junior freaking Gong Marley. So if you want to come to that concert, if you want to get in on that, go ahead and get your tickets. Y'all, this is some amazing stuff. We also have, along with that, we have a Pharaoh's class for the brothers. So if you're healing yourself and you're reaching these plateaus and you're reaching these spaces that are so amazing for you, you want to make sure your spouse is reaching those spaces and places as well, because you don't want to elevate and then you get so high up and you look down and you left the people around you, or you didn't give them access to expand as well. It just make your work double hard, and sometimes it tears up the family. So we have we have the Pharaoh's 360 class, and it's for brothers. This is a little different type of class. We're going kind of easy because with brothers, you don't put pressure on them. You let them kind of go with their flow. So the brothers are in tune, but they're doing the work. They're doing the baths, and they are getting results. So I enjoy my time I spend with them on making that difference in their life. Along with that, we have the 360 Boss Chicks class, where you start with the ground roots. It's basically going in and cutting your cords and attachments. Along with that, after you do that, we have Raw Academy, where you get into one of the courses, the bigger courses on Kundalini, opening up your energy, High Priestess, when you get on working with energy, alchemy, witches, all that kind of good stuff. So we have a lot of things going on in Raw Academy that's so amazing. So guys, I just want to take this time out to just tell you about altars and ancestors and share with you and the experience of really getting into and enjoying your people, enjoying your ancestors, because, I'm going to be very honest with you. Jesus was an ancestor. You're still worshiping ancestors at church. And this ancestor, you don't even know. Like, I know James Butler. I know him. I know he's coming through. I know Davis Taylor. Davis Taylor is coming through for his granddaughter. He's coming through. I don't know all these other people that they're pointing us to and telling us to resurrect. I will not. I will resurrect Davis Taylor. I will resurrect James H. Butler Jr. I will resurrect Lulabelle Butler, because I know what Lulabelle has done for me. I know what she will do for me. I know the gates she's opening for me spiritually, because she was a spiritual woman. So guys, have an amazing day. Love on yourself today. Find that sunshine in every damn thing you do and live. Bye guys.